Okay, welcome everyone. As the absence of the supervisor, the clerk will open the meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Township Hall for Tuesday, June 17th, 2014, and I'd like everyone to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I will call the roll. Supervisor Limata, Trustee Pompo, and Trustee Truscott are excused this evening. Trustee LaRue.
Here.
Trustee Durant.
Here.
Treasurer Johnson.
Here.
And Clerk Rattari is here. Staff present is Manager Gerard, and committee members present are Jane Kennedy from the library, John Marks from the ZBA, and Dave Wiegand from Roads and Recreation. From this point forward, we have to choose a chair of the meeting.
Make a motion to nominate Ernie Johnson.
And I'll second.
All right, Treasurer Johnson has been nominated for the chair of the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Should I say no?
You can, but you're going to lose. Motion carries. Treasurer Johnson is now the chair of the meeting.
I wasn't quick enough.
No, you weren't.
Make sure you, Treasurer Johnson, you got your microphone on.
It's on.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing is a consent agenda. And the consent agenda contains many different items. Prior meeting of June 13th of 2014, the Planning Committee report, the Recreation Committee report, the Road Committee report from May 6th, and the draft minutes of June 3rd, the Fire Marshal report, a Sheriff report, Water Production report, Peter White Library agenda for June 4th, and the minutes from March 5th, and correspondence not requiring board actions are correspondence from the Michigan Township Association, correspondence from the Cliffs Eagle Mine, correspondence from the Marquette 4th of July Parade Committee, and correspondence regarding qualifying statement from the state of Michigan, bills payable in the check in the amount of $470,905.70. Does anyone remove anything from the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda will stay as set. Approval of the agenda. We have the agenda in front of us now.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a question on that.
Okay?
With only 4 people here, I'm wondering if we should keep the library millage until the next meeting, where we have at least 5, if not 6 members in that.
It's up to the board. I mean, we do have a quorum that will pass that resolution. It's up to the board.
I personally like to keep it until the next meeting, for we have at least 5 people here, not 6.
Do you want a motion to table it? I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to table until the next meeting and put it on the July 1st meeting.
The only issue I'd have is don't table it. Just make a motion to put it on the next agenda. Because tabling it, you got to take it off the table and do some other things.
Okay.
And actually, I think tabling pertains to this current meeting.
Yeah, so I'm thinking as a parliamentary issue, I think the motion should be stated to be placed on the next agenda under unfinished business.
Okay.
Pete, do you accept that?
I agree.
Okay, you all heard the amended motion. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. The library millage will be on the July 1st agenda as unfinished business.
Okay, and then I guess I'll make a motion to approve the regular agenda as amended then.
Well, I'm wondering about the board policies and procedures too. Do we have enough information?
No.
Discuss that?
No, we don't.
We
So
should also.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda minus the forum discussion of board policies and procedures, and the change, removing the library proposal.
Is there a second to that?
Support.
I'm going to support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we move forward. We have an agenda now.
Every July 1st meeting.
Yep.
So we move right into new business. First item in there.
Public comment.
Excuse me. Thank you. Now I know who'll be next time doing that.
Shut up, Lynn.
Public comment, 3 minutes.
2.5.
Please keep it to 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Dave Wiegand here for the road committee tonight. Last meeting for the board, I was suggested that I bring together a order of repair for road-specific order of repair for this program that we're considering for the millage. And I would apologize, I don't have that here tonight. If I'd have known there was only going to be 4 board members here, I'd have said I had it already, and now I can't present it. Unfortunately, I can't. I spent a couple days on the phone with Michigan Tech. We finally got the problems worked out with the asset management program so that we could pull specific road segments out of the asset management program so that it wouldn't reflect erroneous numbers when you were looking at the repair costs. We've got all that done. We got it done late this afternoon, and the cost is actually down to $6.9 million from 7.1. And the roads, again, that are not included in that study is the entirety of County Road 550, Wright Street from the city line to the Target intersection, County Road 492, and I believe that's it. But the rest of them are, US 41 obviously is gone. But that's, so there'll be a list out next time, and I suppose I should put together a presentation for the board for the next meeting, if you could put me on the agenda.
Get them on the agenda.
Thank you.
You bring Mike with you too? Thank you.
Pardon me, Ann Hornbogen, I would be here to answer any questions under new business item E.
Thank you.
David Carlson, 1000 Norway, Marquette, here on behalf of Peter White Library. Just wanted to let you know that we're hopeful still that you'll be able to get that processed at the next meeting. And I think since I don't have much interest in the rest of the agenda, I'll probably take off and come back then next week time.
Enjoy the nice day.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Not, we'll close public comment. Board member comments. Clerk.
All right, folks, you got to the end of June to get registered for the August election, so make sure you get into the office if you're not registered. And I have some bad news. 4 days from now, or 5 days from now, the days start getting shorter again. So, unfortunately, we've hit the peak, and we're going to go down towards that winter solstice in 5 days. So, that's the bad news. But the good news is at the Township Hall here, we've acquired the property to the north. The parking lot is in progression. We should have about 30 more spaces to park in probably, I would say, less than a month. So I think that's going to be good progress, and for any events at the facility here, it's going to really be a lot better for the people here. So that's my comments.
Pete?
Just want to remind people to mark your calendar for Saturday, June 21st, for the Catch Vision Car Show and Cruise. It's going to be in the West Mall Mall there in the front by Applebee's. So just mark your calendar, Saturday, June 21st, And then also August 2nd for the Catch a Vision, the community days are August 2nd at the Lions Recreation Field.
What time is it on Saturday?
Saturday, it says, starts at 10 o'clock. The cars will be dropped off at Applebee's at 10 o'clock. Registration at 10 to 11. 11 to 2 is a car exhibit. They're going to have a raffle at 1:30. And then 2 to 3, the car is going to drive to Presque Isle and come back.
Comment?
Yes, please. I want to remind everybody that there's a public hearing next Wednesday at the Planning Commission meeting at 7 o'clock to discuss, hopefully with the public or DNR or the residents out in that area, in any of those areas, to discuss the 2 new proposed zoning districts, scenic recreation and, scenic residential, 2 of them. Forest recreation and scenic residential. That's what it is. So we'd like to have some input on that. We've contacted the county and the city and have not heard from them. We did notify anybody who would be in the property area that would be rezoned. They'll be notified, or have been. So again, that's next Wednesday at the Planning Commission meeting at 7 o'clock. Public hearing. Couple things from the Planning Commission's last meeting. The Fat Boys has been sold, and another person bought it. I don't have that name. Mark Smith is a custom builder who is working with Easy Stop, and he's going to be presenting the Planning Commission with some changes he'd like to make to that store. Possibly a second floor or some, a little restaurant thing in the back, maybe ice cream or Subway type thing, drive-through. He doesn't have his plans finalized yet, but he'll be contacting us. The Highway Corridor Committee is looking at making a recommendation with improvements for 5 years and 20 years out. So we may hear something on that in July. Blue Heron Bluff Site Condominium project is, they're drilling wells out there, and that's going to be expanding. They'll be putting some decent roads in there too for anybody that lives up that way. We've already seen in our packet the $100,000 from Cliffs. Thank you for the Lions Warming Shack. And Marquette Township Transportation Plan will be discussed in our next meeting. David Wigan talked about that. There's a traffic study that may be pending with MDOT as far as the KBIC gas station with the left turn there. They're kind of thinking they'd like to eliminate that and just go out toward Menards. And let's see. The Up the Sky development is still talking with Lindbergh, and they've had a meeting here that was rather promising. Our assessing department said about getting that road west of Lowe's. There is a purchase agreement on the land off of Commerce, but I don't have anything on that, just that there's a purchase agreement. I think that's about it. The lot expansion for the parking. And I did not get to tonight's library board meeting. That was at 5 o'clock right before this. I had an equipment guy up from Green Bay today. I had some equipment problems, so that kind of kept me busy till right before I got here. And I think I'll save my library comments for the next meeting. That's all I had.
The only comment I have is concerning one of the items on the consent agenda, the correspondence from the Marquette 4th of July Parade Committee. Is there anything we should be considering there at all, Randy?
We do. We do contribute to the 4th of July fireworks through our budget as well. We have not in the past contributed financially to the parade, although we do have township units in the parade. So I don't know if they pay a fee or not. The fire department is always in the parade, and several other groups from the township or that are represented by township residents are in the parade. I really don't have anything identified in the budget. If the board wanted to do anything, that would be an additional expenditure that we would have to pull out of probably the general fund.
That may be something we want to look at next year's budget if we want to do something that.
And you basically have, you have one more meeting before then. Just before,
Yes, just,
No, it could be, we could,
just before.
if the
But
board
it's-
so chooses, if 4 members here, we could put it on the agenda for next meeting, if so choose. If not, we'll move it forward to on the budget hearing and that.
Probably should address it since we've been asked.
Well, I think everybody was asked. I think it was a blanket mailing, basically just a request for financial consideration. I mean, it wasn't specifically directed to us. I think all of the local municipalities received it.
Any comments? If not, we'll address it during budget hearing and that for next year and that, so.
okay, I have no other comments from board members. Forum discussion, there is not any. Go ahead.
Actually, when we approved the agenda, we didn't, as when I approved the agenda as amended, we can't remove that agenda item at that time, so I'll make a motion that we put under unfinished business at the next meeting, the library millage proposal. So that's a motion.
Second.
I thought that was the first motion we made.
No, I was actually as amended, and then we ended up talking about removing it, but we can't remove it when we do an amended agenda.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do that. So we'll just clean it up. So we'll just put it on the next agenda under unfinished business.
We have a motion on the floor and a second to have the library millage on the next agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Okay, that takes care of the unfinished business. Now into new business. Consider the proposal from the Middle Island Campers Association. And I know we have a representative here. Would you like to speak on it at this point, Dan?
Please come to the podium also, Dan, because you'll get it on the recording better if you're at the podium.
We can move the mic too for it.
Yeah, I guess I can start the discussion while Dan's moving up there. Basically, this is
Dan,
a,
let's, you sit down. We'll bring the mic to you.
I can get there, right there. Thank you. I needed to stand up anyway.
You broke
Get the blood circulating.
This is an item that's been discussed probably over the last couple of years on and off as regards what's been historically referred to as the dry well at Middle Island Point that the fire department for a number of years used as a source of water for any fire events that might occur on Middle Island Point. Over the course of time, the screen that feeds that well has become fouled. It has not been in use really since we converted to large pumpers. It has not been utilized, and there has been discussion about possibly converting that very small, and you do have a map in your packet. It's a very small piece of property, converting it to some kind of a public use, such as a park. It's in an odd location. It's not easy to get to. There's not a large population base that would potentially utilize it. And the Middle Island Point campers would prefer that it not be put to a public use. And they've made several proposals. The most recent proposal is before you this evening that does provide an opportunity for the township to reacquire that property in the future if we so desire. So I have had conversation with Dan. I've had conversation with Supervisor Limita, who's obviously not here this evening. And our opinion, our position, our recommendation to the board is that you accept the proposal from Middle Island Point.
Yeah, I am Dan Hornbogen, 37 Middle Island Point.
Do you have anything
I
to
didn't
add?
get introduced. Any questions? No, you do have the letter.
Yes.
If there's any questions about anything in the letter, I would attempt to answer it.
Any questions from board members?
Is this, I just want a little clarification, is this the same property that we've swapped before?
No, this is different. That was Turtle Lakes.
Okay.
And basically, what we did in that point is we acquired a piece of property that gives us direct access to Lake Superior in exchange for the Turtle Lakes. But it's the same theory. The theory is that the Middle Island Campers Association is basically a private group, and they are trying to preserve that privacy.
Also, by putting the covenant in the deed, it would allow you to have the land back for fire suppression. Prevents us from doing anything with it other than paying taxes on it. See, so we would not be able to develop it unless we had a further agreement with the board, but that is not in the daylight at this time.
Any questions from anybody? Yes, Randy?
I reviewed the letter. I don't see a problem with it, so I'll make a motion that we move forward on the proposal.
We accept the agreement.
Yeah, accept the agreement, yeah.
Yeah, and I would add subject to council's review.
Subject to legal review.
Pete, you agree with that? I agree. Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move forward.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is the budget amendment number 2014-06. Turn this over to the clerk.
Okay, I'll present to the board Budget Amendment 2014-06. Basically, the budget amendment reflects the increase of the, I get it closer here, it's a small screen. Read it. It says authorization is requested to increase the capital department by $310,000. $200,000 is from the purchase of the land north of the community center, which we received from the financial institution. $100,000 is for the construction of the ice rink warming building, and the remaining $10,000 is to cover the $5,000 for the purchase of the building and grounds truck, and $5,000 for the township boardroom microphone and sound system. The loan proceeds of the $200,000 will cover the land purchase, and the grant of $100,000 will from the Cliffs Eagle Mine it's a word slew here. Proceeds of $200,000 will cover the land purchase, and a grant of $100,000 will address the building at the Lions Field for the ice rink. And the offset will come from the fund balance. So basically, the money we received from the bank and from the grant, it's just basically a pass-through, but it has to be a budget amendment to cover that. And I will be in the minutes as always, and I make a motion to approve that budget amendment.
Second.
Motion second. Randy?
Just to clarify for the public who are watching this and for the board, the vehicle funding on this are simply fund transfers. They are in the budget, and simply transferring them from one portion of the budget to another to be able to pay the cost of it. The $200,000 for the acquisition of the property is a loan that's coming. We're doing the same thing with that as we did with this building. Basically, we're financing that publicly up front to pay off in 7 years as we are with this building. So the net effect of this is it's no additional dollars to the township. It's simply moving dollars from one account to another.
Basically what I just said, just in accounting terms.
Any further questions? One question I have is, we talk about the township boardroom microphone. Did we get any rebate from what we did have?
We're in the process of looking at that. I'm not sure where that will come down, because we made the decision not necessarily as a result of anything faulty with the equipment. It was a decision that we made to go forward. So, worst case, we'll market them.
Any further questions by anybody? If not, the motion is made and seconded. Turn it back over to the clerk.
Clerk Rattari is yes. Trustee LaRue?
Yes.
Trustee Durant?
Yes.
And Treasurer Johnson?
Yes.
Motion passes 4 yes, 0 no, and 3 absent.
The next item is the manager's report.
And this will be fairly brief. Basically, even though the temperature has gotten warm, we still have frost in the ground, and people, it's hard to believe. So we are still incurring costs going forward with the result of the severe winter weather that we had. We are reporting that as it occurs. And we have forecast what the amounts are for FEMA. We have submitted with the city and with other local jurisdictions, although we're not getting the media play on it that the city is. We have the same issues, and we have submitted the same documentation and are looking to be reimbursed for that. You'll see in the overtime report that we still are incurring overtime as a result of it. We still do have some lines that need to be dug and need to be replaced and repaired, and we're in the process of doing that. Tax tribunal we have filed with the Supreme Court. We're awaiting the Supreme Court's ruling and decision as to whether they will accept the case on the tax tribunal issue, the appeal from the Court of Appeals. It is gaining steam. There are other groups that are now recognizing, because we are having residential properties that are now filing with the tax tribunal, and it is impacting other communities that felt that it would never impact them. City of Marquette now has a couple of their large residential developments that are being challenged as well, as do we now with apartment complexes. So it is expanding as we predicted 2 years ago that it would, and it is starting to affect people that maintained that it would never affect them. So that is going forward. The only other comment that I want to make is follow up on Clerk Rotari's bad news. There's also some good news in that, as Trustee LaRue has mentioned. Even though we are going to be turning the page here shortly and start getting shorter days, we still have lots of summer and fall left to enjoy the spectacular seasons that we have here. And the township has several really great events coming up in summertime, with the first one this weekend with the car show and cruise, which is very popular. Followed very closely at the beginning of August 2nd, with the Catch the Vision at Lions Field Recreation Area. And shortly after that, and possibly even slightly before that, there's going to be some significant changes occurring at Lions Field as we get into the renovation of the kiddie park, establishment of the new ice rink and the warming hut, and some additional changes and improvements to Lions Field generally, to the whole area, following the Attorney General making a determination on the abandonment of Erie, which is still holding us up. So that's what the holdup is, if anybody's wondering, is it's sitting on the Attorney General's desk, waiting to be forwarded to the Circuit Court for final action.
Is there anything we can do to push that along? I mean, could Casperson or Keevil or anyone? I mean,
It's the Attorney General.
No, I mean, is there anything
Well,
can
we
do?
are. Yeah, we have. Roger Zappa, our civil counsel, has been communicating with the Attorney General's office, as well as through Representative Keevil and Senator Casperson, to try and get this off dead center. We also have communicated with them, indicating that there is some urgency to it, since we have a $100,000 grant sitting out there that we're trying to capitalize on, and the only thing holding it up is the Attorney General review, and basically just a sign-off on everything that we've already done.
I know there are lots of us would like to see that
Yeah.
in there this year, so.
It's simply because it's a platted area, and the way the law in Michigan is written, the Attorney General has to approve any change to a plat. It's an old law, but it's still on the books. So as soon as that gets done, the blacktop will be up and we'll be moving quickly. I think Dave Wiegand's chomping at the bit here to get going. I think he's got his tractor running, waiting.
Further comments or questions to the manager? The only thing I would have is that as we get closer and closer to the activity at Lions Field, I want to make sure that we don't run into that problem if we're doing a lot of construction there too. So
No, we'll structure that such that it's not going to impede August 2nd. If there is initial activity, it will be to remove the blacktop and to smooth that area, but it wouldn't be something that would impede the Catch the Vision Day at Lions Field. Probably anything heavy duty would be probably the next day starting.
we should put a note in the paper that we're doing it right away too, so people's aware of it. All of a sudden they're
Oh, yeah.
driving and there's no road there anymore.
It'll be blocked
a
off.
signature first.
My guess is once we get to the point of being prepared to set up for the community day at Lions Field, the road will be blocked off and will stay blocked up after that.
Any further comments, questions? Okay, that concludes the new business. Public comment.
I'll come off to the Recreation Committee now. Yes, he is chomping at the bit, but comment before that is Manager Gerard's comment that there still is frost in the ground. Clerk Rattari's comment that the days are getting shorter. If this was a few more degrees north on the latitude, they'd call that tundra. But we did have an initial meeting with an architect on the warming shack, and I would hope there'd be something to shore the planning commission and the board here in the next 30 days. And if we work it out just right, we could put the warming shack in without removing Erie Street. So there is a possibility that we can get something going.
Yeah, really the main impact of Erie is on the development of the ice rink and the basketball courts. That's critical. The right-of-way runs right through those two amenities.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll go on to additional comments from board members. Pete?
Just to state that the Peter White Library millage will be on July 1st, and also discussion on board policy and procedure will be on July 1st. So if there's somebody listening out there that's interested in the library or that discussion, we will have it on July 1st.
Any further discussion by board members? Have a motion to adjourn?
Support.
And a support? Any further discussion on it? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
How about that?
7:33.